What's going on, coders? Welcome back to this Python 3 channel. It's really good to be recording again, and in this video I'm going to be chatting to you about the factory pattern. So in short, what this pattern is an object which specializes in creating other objects. So to illustrate this, we have written some code here. Let's imagine, before we dive into the code, that we've actually started an online business, an online trading house that trades gold. So in this scenario, we're going to need to have a gold class, a gold object, and then in this class, we're going to have the name of the gold. So there's various different types of gold, so we can use the same object for all of those. And then we're going to have a little method here that returns the form of the gold, which is physical. So this is just purely a string that gets returned. So this is the kind of starting point. Then we have the meat of the code, which is essentially the object that specializes in creating other objects, or otherwise known as the factory. So the factory function right here has three distinct parts. So on line 19, we have the meat of it, which is we create a dictionary called assets. And in this dictionary, we specify the key value pair that we want to create. So in this case, we have the key being gold and the value being the gold object that we actually instantiate within the gold key, and we pass in the gold name in here. So once we've instantiated that and stored it in our dictionary, then it's time to kind of look at the rest of the function here. And we can see that we have the default parameter. In our case, it's the gold parameter, or asset is equal to gold, which means that we're going to actually be looking for the gold key within our assets every time, unless otherwise we pass in a different parameter. And then on line 20, we actually return that object. So we look up gold, and then we return that object to the caller of this function. So in the main statement here, we've got g is equal to get asset class. So we're calling this factory function, and we're passing in gold. I mean, obviously we don't have to because it's the default already, but we can swap this out if there were any other objects in our dictionary at the moment. And then we print out the form, or we call the form method of the class, just to see what's displayed. So let's have a look at what this does. So when we run it, we actually get, yes, gold is indeed physical. So this is essentially the factory pattern. We have a place where we store our objects that we've created in a very specialized kind of way, and then we're able to return them based on the caller. So essentially, other people using our code base can only really be aware of these two lines, and all of this rest of the code base could be completely abstracted to them. They don't need to care about it, and we can pretty much add to it without them realizing or being the wiser. Now, where this pattern really shines is when we actually need to extend our code. So having a factory just for a single class, or for a single object rather, I mean, it doesn't make very much sense. So if we imagine that our platform, from trading only gold on the internet, we decide, well, actually we're going to expand our offering and we're now going to trade crypto as well. So what is that going to look like? Well, we can just copy our gold class here, and then we're going to say, well, actually we're going to have a crypto class, and this crypto class is going to actually have a different form. So it's going to be a virtual form, right? And actually that's all the changes we need to make. Now, obviously we need to go away and instantiate it. So this is where we get to modify our factory function. And in our factory function, we're just going to say comma, and we're going to say crypto is equal to the crypto class. And for the name here, we're just going to say Bitcoin is going to be our first crypto asset that we're going to be trading. Now, obviously this gets created, but in the current code base, we don't actually access it in any way. So let's add a couple more lines here by copying these 35 and 36 lines. And we're just going to say that C is equal to get asset class. And instead of gold, what we're going to say is crypto. That's the key we want to be looking up. And then we're going to call the C form as well. So let's run that. And indeed, yeah, we can see that gold is physical and Bitcoin is indeed virtual. So essentially, this example lends itself to expansion in a massive way, right? I mean, you can add an infinite amount of asset classes that you may need to your platform, but your end users of your code base might only just need to be using what's at the bottom here. Whereas the rest of it is sort of hidden away, it's produced, it's pretty stable. They don't need to worry about it. So this is where the factory pattern really shines. Obviously, there is kind of other things that we can build on top of this, but this is a very simple example of how it works. I hope this has been useful to you. Please do let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching.